Mm, 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 mm. So, as you can tell, I just got back from the Addams Family 2, the sequel to the 2019 animated adaptation of Charles Addams' classic characters, and as feature-length films go, I put this one more or less in line with the previous one a couple years back, which managed to provide a nice little piece of family-friendly counter-programming for Joker, as it's a very different cinematic climate this one's coming out in, given how it's almost simultaneously in theaters as well as on Prime Video. But even with that in mind, and I saw a reasonable amount of people, like about the same I did when I saw the first movie a couple years back, and it sees most of the cast and crew of the original return, with one exception being Pugsley. I think Finn Wolfhard did other projects at the time. That's why this time he's being voiced by Javon Walton, and also has a lot fewer lines than he did before. So let's get this started. Okay, so the movie takes place a bit after the events of the first film, where a demonstration at a local school science fair from Wednesday Addams, voiced again and by Chloe Moretz, and both the actress and the character still hold a lot of appeal for me. She's spotted by a scientist named Strange, who is voiced by Bill Hader, and I just say as scientists go in animated films, like comparing him to Flint Lockwood in the Cloud Chase Meatballs movies, he's definitely the opposite. Like whereas Flint is eccentric, but ultimately hearted, well, let's just say Strange is definitely out of his mind, which also coincides with Elm deciding to take a cross country road trip to revisit their roots and grow close together. But this being the Addams family, this often involves almost like being thrown into Niagara Falls with a voodoo doll and turning Uncle Fester into an octopus as part of the Hydron experiments, and also oh, Pugsley showing off his proclivity for explosives of the Grand Canyon. So, and as I mentioned before, the last movie, I actually don't have as much of a problem with designs as other people were, because like some of the designs and expressions actually would not be that out of place in the original comics that I used to read. And I actually really like that. Obviously I'm not gonna put this on the same pedestal with like a Disney, Pixar, even a DreamWorks movie, but the style they have a way they are depicted differently from the other human characters in this verse. It's definitely quite the experience, and I definitely he there are quite a few jokes that got laughs out of me, especially again the supporting role of Snoop Dogg as Cousin It. As mentioned before, if you're going to be having Snoop Dogg in your movie, you might as well reference his music and his lifestyle, so to speak. It could be, and a lot of jokes actually generally surprised me. Like the Octo Fester. Let's just say that when he's in a bathroom, whom let's just say it's not just the ink that ends up shocking a lot of people. But like, wow. And given the current circumstances, actually, he is doing alright. Not quite as big as the last movie was, but again, it's definitely a solid experience and if you got young monsters in your family, there are worse ways to kill 92 minutes. I still intend to look at live action films. They're on Freeform a bunch, so. And I've seen them a bunch since I was a kid, so it should not be too much trouble to actually get those out. But I just want to. Now that I've chosen my grade track for my last class, as it should, I have a more solid idea about what kind of videos I'm gonna like. But for now, I give this movie like 3 stars out of 4, much like the last one. I'm gonna give you a little riff on some coming attractions. There's only a few of them this time around. Okay, once again, Marvel's Eternals. Given how both Black Widow, Shang-Chi have done pretty well for Phase 4 so far, not to mention the TV spin-offs are streaming on Disney Plus, and now even ones like Venom Let Be Carnage, which are technically produced by a different studio, are still making money. That understandable why they finally decided to just keep the usual plan. Like, it used to be you had to wait a few months for a movie to come on VOD or home after it hits theaters. Today, that timing is much different, but still, it's gonna be coming out in on November 5th. They're sticking to theatrical first, then it'll probably be on Disney Plus or Hulu or wherever they're going to be streaming it. After 45 days, so which after the first month and a half, we're pitted at about mid-December by my account, man. And so I thought I'd also be doing both spoilers for Black Widow and Shang-Chi this month, but I guess it'll be next month when it comes out for Disney Plus Day. And given how that's become the first one to break 200 million domestic since Bad Boys for Life over a year ago, I'm looking at this like a marathon, not a sprint. And I definitely think it'll be interesting to see how this goes, and I definitely have the attention span and desire to see a 156-minute epic about some immortal heroes. Like, even though I'm not familiar with the comic, once again, I can probably follow the movie fine as I have been in previous ones, like how that. And it'll be interesting to see how Chloe Zhao, coming off the success of Nomadland, and does with big budget action. But then again, both Kate Shortland and as well as Destin Cretton were able to do alright from their debuts. So we'll see how this goes. I'll definitely be interested in seeing it. So, okay. Sing 2, I've mentioned before, I'm not really big on this particular one. I don't have anything against Illumination in general, like some other people do. That's also why, for the most part, I'm not getting discourse about the Mario movie casting, apart from sharing those riff tracks clips of the 93 movie, as well as Always Sunny Tenacious D memes, which Charlie D as Luigi and Jack Black as Bowser. And with that aside, I don't really have much add to this one, like how, again, and the first film is just there. I think I want to go get an ice when I saw the trailer again. But like I said before, I'm probably going to be seeing The Matrix Resurrections or The King's Man when this opens instead. I'm interested in both of those, but I have to determine which one I'll have enough time to go see first. So, yeah. Last but definitely not least is Disney's Encanto, which I think is going to be another musical, which after Raya, which did not have very many songs in there, which actually a reasonable compromise to alter between movies that are musicals and ones that are not. To me, it's got fantasy elements to it, and having really enjoyed In the Heights earlier this year, even though it didn't do so hot, to me, I think there are people still trying to get their shots then. But I definitely think his contributions will also make the songs quite memorable. Like his contributions to Moana, which I really enjoyed, and the idea like being the only person who doesn't have magical powers in a whole land where everyone else does. I get the feeling that the music is going to be playing a part in that, discovering one's own ability. So it's definitely a something that should be worth keeping an eye on. I don't know if I'll be seeing it right away. Not sure what I'm going to be doing for Thanksgiving just yet, but it's coming out in November. Looks entertaining. And unlike Scene 2, the songs will once again be original compositions, and so this will be one watch, I'd say. Anyway, I've had to push back that Digimon movie video I was going to be making, which is considered a supplementary one to my previous review. But I am currently drafting both my review of the first Cars and my Next to the Moon Ultra Legends vlog as I speak, so that will be all for now. And I will see you all again soon. Take care, everyone.